was a white man wearing a beret, and the other was a black man in his 50s wearing olive-colored fatigues, and he had a long rifle. So that's the description on the two that are loose: young white man in khakis and a older black man.
Back here on the world famous Jiggy Jaguar show, coast to coast and border to border, all over the World Wide Web, and on 50 plus stations, AM and FM nationwide, on the Starcom television network. And Sonya Madison joins us. Sonya, how are you doing on this fabulous Tuesday?
I am doing really well. It is truly fabulous. Thank you.
I'll tell you, you are one of the few legal experts in the world that is always in a good mood. That is awesome.
Well, thank you. I think attorneys do have a bad name, so I'm trying to clear it up for some of them.
We've got Sonya Madison with us today here on the program, and she joins us each and every week around this time. And she, of course, is the workplace attorney in Atlanta, Georgia, and a legal analyst for various online mediums. She has cloopholes.com. And Navy Yard shooting is another in a long list of federal workplace violence. And it always seems to happen. At least it seems like every couple years we have a situation like this take place, and it just never gets better. And Sonya, well, what do you make of this Navy Yard shooting?
Well, I do make that it is time for the Federal Protective Service, which is the agency responsible for the safety of federal buildings, to really do a little bit more proactively as it relates to securing such buildings. And, I mean, you have, like you said, years going back from 93 when you had two CIA employees that were injured back in 2009, the 13 that were killed in the mass shooting in Fort Hood, and then, of course, the big one back in 95, the 168 that died in the Oklahoma City bombing. It just begs for additional security to be done. And when you're talking about employees who want to feel safe going to work, you don't want these numbers to continue to increase and thereby making an issue of workplace safety.
We've got Sonya Madison with us today here on the broadcast. cloopholes.com is the website. That's cloopholes.com. And today, this Navy shipyard situation takes precedence over some of these other stories in the news. What are you hearing, and what are some of the people that you communicate with on a regular basis? What are they telling you regarding this? I know that it seems like everybody and their brother is like blaming violent video games and all these other things now. Is this part of a larger problem?
Well, I'm hearing you have the shooter, Aaron Alexis, who had mental illness. He had PTSD, the post-traumatic stress syndrome. He was a veteran of the Navy, and he also had a little bit of a history with weapons. He shot a gun in his apartment and was charged for that. And so that seems to be the pattern when it comes to sometimes these mass shootings. There's someone, the shooter either has some kind of mental illness or they have a history and still able to get access to weapons. And with him, he was a contractor with the Navy, and he also had the access to the weapons and as well as the certain access to the building to be able to come in armed. And with that in place, it goes back to, of course, gun control and whether or not we do need to have stricter rules when it's related to mental illness, as well as the background check. But it also speaks to the employment arena, where should we continue to use this background checks, take criminal history into consideration when hiring certain people to ensure the safety of employees. I know the EEOC has made a bit of a stunt of trying to prohibit employers from using such history, but this is definitely evidence that it can be pertinent when it comes to hiring.
We've got Sonya Madison with us today here on the broadcast. She is available at cloopholes.com, and the Navy shipyard shooting is the big story. But Syria also is in the back of everyone's minds. What have you been hearing, and what have you been doing over there at cloopholes.com in regards to this story?
Well, in regards to Syria, it does sound like Russia and Syria came to a resolution. And it also just sounds like the UN confirmed what President Obama was saying, and that was that there were chemical weapons used in the destruction of several Damascus suburban homes, as well as children that were killed. So hopefully we've gotten to the point where Syria and the government there is not going to continue to deploy such horrendous efforts in killing off people. But I'm sure President Obama will continue to monitor it, and also will continue to try to set an example to other countries that violating such international laws cannot be accepted.
We've got Sonya Madison joining us today here on the program. Navy shipyard shooting seems to be another long list of federal workplace violence. We had Major Hassan a few years ago in his shooting case, and now we have this case. Yesterday there was rampant speculation that there was one or two others that were involved in this. I've seen various reports. Has that been debunked? Is it just the one guy? What have you been hearing? What is your view on this?
The reports I've heard that there was just one guy, and in fact the one guy was at a certain level in the building and was shooting down upon the employees. And when the police got to him, he was by himself, and of course he did not survive the attack. He was also killed by police. So I haven't heard other names being brought up as being part of the initial incident, but that isn't to say that there weren't other people involved. I just haven't heard such information.
We've got Sonya Madison with us today. Tell us about some of the things going on over there at Sea Loopholes.
Well, recently, last week, the NCAA, which is the National College Athletic Association, was sued by 3 former athletes and their former college athletes, and they're claiming the same thing that former NFL athletes claimed, and that was the lack of knowledge on the concussions, as well as the lack of protocols to ensure their safety, or at least to ensure that they won't be affected in the long term by brain injuries as a result of concussions. So we're going to see that. I'm sure it will also settle, but we're seeing the baton being passed in terms of liability and sharing in those consequences as it relates to former athletes, former football players, and the issues concerning concussions. Also, last week, John Weldon, who was charged with, he's charged under the Unborn Children's Act, but he pleaded to a lesser offense after he gave his ex-girlfriend an abortion pill and told her she needed to take it for infection. So she wasn't aware that it was going to actually induce labor. It did, and so he was charged, and it's been a big story because it talks about, or it discusses just the harms in having one parent, especially the father, be completely against the birth of a child, whereas the woman continues to have the right to choose after conception. And then finally, the Miss America, the backlash in terms of a lot of the racist slants that have gone against her after she was crowned because she's of Indian descent, I think is completely ridiculous, and it definitely speaks to the power of social media, and that it gives a lot of people who shouldn't have a voice. But hopefully it has just continued to make her stronger and make her feel more confident and passionate about carrying on the crown.
Well, Sonya, we will check in with you next Tuesday. Those are some great stories. I know that a lot of people have been talking about them, and we just basically ran out of time today to be able to cover them all. But check out sealoopholes.com each and every day. She has some tremendous stuff that they're doing over there, and each and every day she's got blogs, she's got videos, all sorts of different things. So thanks for being on with us today, and we will check in with you next week.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Definitely. Have yourself a wonderful day, Sonya. Sonya Madison with us today here on the Big Broadcast. When we get back, we will chat. We will do some chatting with Douglas Richards. He's got a brand new book out. We'll talk to him when we get back here on the Big Broadcast. Hour number 3. Considering divorce but not sure of the next step? A local divorce lawyer can answer your questions and explain the divorce process to you. Schedule a free divorce consultation by the Lawyer Divorce Team right now and find out how a divorce attorney can help you protect your future. Visit our website at lawyerdivorceteam.com or call us 877-661-1314. That's 877-661-1314.
KJagRadio.com. 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 KJagRadio.com.
You got the power, I got the need.
KJagRadio.com.
At dollarseed.com, all of our seeds are only $1 a pack. And we have online resources that teach you all about the rewarding hobby of growing your own plants, flowers, herbs, and vegetables. Imagine the joy you'll feel when your children actually help you harvest your first garden crop, or the pride of knowing you'll never need a florist again. Visit dollarseed.com and grow a little magic of your own for just $1. Dollarseed.com. What could be healthier?
According to the UNESCO, the combined value of the shipwrecks that litter the bottom of the world's oceans amounts to hundreds of billions of dollars. Sea Treasure is a publicly held company that specializes in shipwreck recovery. Anyone can become a shareholder of the company. The trading symbol is JABA, spelled J-A-B-A. More information is available via seatreasure.org or on Yahoo Finance. Just type in the ticker symbol J-A-B-A.
Out Loud Minute. The Out Loud Minute.
Contrary to everything you were taught as a kid, there are advantages to being selfish. It's a Bring Thinking Monday with Malcolm Out Loud. As a youngster, you might have been punished for not sharing. As an adult, it may actually pay dividends. Well, there's a common thread amongst highly successful people. They all guard their time. You got to keep control of your time, says Warren Buffett. You can't let people set your agenda in life. As Reddit CEO Ishin Wang explains, time is limited in 3 ways. It's highly limited. We're immature in our first decades and declining in health in our last. It's uniquely limited. You can't bank, transfer, or recover time. And it's equitably limited. Americans can, on average, expect to live about 77 years. Well, look at it this way. There are few overnight successes and many up-all-night successes. The time is not when or how, it's now. And I'll see you back at malcolmaloud.tv.
You are now about to experience a KMA Entertainment presentation.
You're listening to the Jiggy Jaguar Show on the network.